Here we go. We're going to try something a little different today. I am in the car, and I'm going to record on my way to work. And we're going to see what this sounds like, and if I can even post it or anything. So I obviously wouldn't do any editing, so we'll see. Yeah, it's been a little while since I have got a BFIBs episode recorded, so I just wanted to get my thoughts down. I don't have any notes or anything, but yeah, the Cardinals are back in first place, just barely. I think they're only a half game up on the Cubs right now. Today is Tuesday, the 20th of August, and I believe the Cubs did not play on Monday, so there was a half game difference there. The Cardinals just beat the Brewers 3-0, nearly a no-hitter, combined no-hitter. Dakota Hudson had the start, and he no-hit the Brewers through 6 1/3, I believe, but his pitch count was getting up there, 111. He did say after the game he was frustrated that he was surprised to be taken out. I don't think it was that surprising to anybody watching, at least the broadcast, because he was definitely, you could tell the last couple hitters he faced, he was fatiguing a little. He didn't have the command that he showed throughout the game. And with his pitch count getting high, I think even Dan and Rick said on the broadcast, you know, is he going to go 9 innings for the no-hitter? This was in the 7th inning at the time. And if he doesn't go 9, then he's not going to, then why go 8? That was the point that they made. If you're not going to push him through 9 innings, and at 111 pitches at that point, you know, what is he going to throw, 135 pitches? Probably not. And I think it was the right move. I'm sure there were some people upset that he was taken out with a no-hitter going, but, you know, this is one of your most effective pitchers, and you're gonna, if you make the playoffs, you're gonna need this guy for a playoff run. You don't want to wear his arm out this late in the year. I mean, there's already concerns about his durability, not overall, but just being, he's essentially still a rookie without a proven track record of being able to throw, you know, 200 innings or whatever. There's no reason to push him. So it would have been neat for him to get a no-hitter, but at that point he already had, I think, 4 walks. So, you know, what? It wasn't like a really clean no-hitter. So, you know, a little disappointing, I'm sure, for him, for some fans, but I thought it was the right move. And Gallegos came in, looked good, but he did give up the 1 hit right. It was a double down the line, just barely fair. And but he got out of the inning, no damage. So, yeah, very cool. The Cardinals pitching has been great. You know, we can still hope for more from the offense, but I think, you know, it's gonna, I keep saying it's gonna come around. Here it is, end of August, and it hasn't come around yet. But they're doing what seems like just enough offensively. You know, DeYoung with the home run last night, Goldie and some other guys contributing power recently. So, you know, it's not what we were hoping for, but as if the pitching stays as dominant as it has, it should be enough. I don't know if you guys heard yet, they announced kind of late last night that Harrison Bader was going to be coming back. Randy Arozarena was sent down to make room for him. Not a lot of people were happy about that. I think most people think Arozarena didn't get a fair shake to begin with. And I agree, I don't think he did, but I think that was the predictable outcome anyway when he got called up. I don't think he was going to start every day. Would have been nice to see him get more chances and to kind of get in a groove. I think when he first got called up, that first game that he played in and the first start, he's obviously nervous. He's trying to find his timing. You could see his timing was off. He was rolling over some ground balls, hitting some bloops. He just wasn't squaring things up, but that's understandable, right? New league, new pitching, obviously nervous. So I don't think he got to play enough to really have a fair shake, but it's what we've seen with other guys like Lane Thomas, that get called up and they don't get to play. So at this point, at this late in the season with, such a tight race, you don't want to give games away just to get a guy more time, but I don't know that it's always necessarily giving games away. The other thing was that a lot of people were upset about it being a Rosarena that went down instead of a guy like Munoz, who hasn't really done all that much offensively. I don't have any numbers right in front of me to support that, but most people, I would say, have been disappointed with what Munoz has done offensively. Now, he's a versatile player who can play almost anywhere in the outfield, though I think statistics do show he should not be playing in the outfield at all, but he can play out there without looking inept, at least. And then on the infield, he can play, pretty much anywhere in the infield. So that versatility is nice, though usually versatility is to get a guy in the lineup, and his bat doesn't necessarily need to be in the lineup at this point. So yeah, some people were a little upset that it wasn't Munoz being sent down, but I'm not surprised by that. Now, with Bader coming up, the question is he going to play? Now, he was playing much better in Memphis. I think I saw something where he had 6 home runs in 50-something at-bats, and he had 6 home runs in 200-something at-bats throughout the season at the major league level. So he's basically, and his on-base percentage is better, his batting average is better, all that stuff, right? So he's done much better in Memphis, but does anybody think that that's necessarily going to translate to the big leagues? My guess would be he wasn't seeing the same type of, the same quality of, or the same quantity of sliders and breaking balls at the minor league level as he's going to see at the major league level. The book is out on Bader. Pitchers know how to get him out, and it's with breaking ball away. He's always done better against the fastball, and at least the highlights that I saw when he was hitting these home runs, it was on fastballs. Understandably so, but I don't think he's going to see as many fastballs in the big leagues. So, I think, should we expect him to be as hot up here as he was in the minors? No. Is he even going to start every day? I would be surprised if he did. If he does, he's going to play center field, which is going to move Fowler over to right. And, Fowler's been in center a lot lately. They've had Edman in right. They've had Munoz in right. They've played... They have definitely bounced guys around like Lane Thomas in center or Rosarena in center when they'll move Fowler over to right. So that would be my guess, is that Fowler will move over to right. But they've already struggled to get guys at bats like Edman and Thomas, and if you're bringing in a guy like Bader, who is, if you had, I was going to say if you had to pick a guy to play more of those three, my prediction would be that it would be Bader, probably Edman as well, just because he seems to be the golden child right now. Whether he deserves to be or not. I like Tommy Edman a lot, and he does, like I've said before, he seems to come through in clutch situations, and he every once in a while has these games where he goes 3 for 4 or 4 for 4 or whatever, but then he'll go 0 for 4, So anyway, I don't know. My prediction is that Bader won't necessarily start every day. When he does, it'll obviously be in center field. Fowler will be in right. They may try to do more righty-lefty matchup stuff with those two. So we'll see. Hopefully he's looking good and he can contribute. He's obviously a weapon defensively, and I think he could be offensively if he can get on base. He can hopefully steal some bases for you. That hasn't really proven to be the case this year, but it'd be nice if that was something, the Cardinals could add to the repertoire. They've been a great base stealing team, so hopefully he could just make that even better. So we'll see what the whole Bader thing turns out to be. He does have his bobblehead night is coming up Thursday, and I think a lot of people are assuming that was part of it. I think that was a small part of it. You know, he wasn't going to get called up for Harrison Bader bobblehead night if he was batting 200 in Memphis and didn't have any power and was striking out all the time. They wouldn't have called him back up. It would have been an embarrassing sort of chuckle-worthy moment to have his bobblehead night when he didn't even make the team. But he was hitting well, looking much better, essentially giving them a reason to call him back up, and bobblehead night just kind of pushed it over the edge. So hopefully he gets to at least start on his own bobblehead night. That'd be nice, right? What else can we kind of talk about? So we've got, again, the Cubs and Brewers and Cardinals in this tight race at the top of the division. But all three teams have their issues. The Cubs have had a lot of trouble winning on the road. I saw just the other day when they were playing in Williamsport, they won that road series, and I think they said that was the first road series they'd won since like late May or something. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was either early mid-June or late May, and I had no idea. I mean, I knew they had these road struggles, but they have not won a series on the road in at least 2 months. So pretty crazy, almost 3 months. But so, you know, they're giving us an opportunity to win the division. They're not pulling away. Now, we aren't either, but through the struggles we've had, the Cubs have struggled also, and the Brewers are right there with us in the struggle department. It's been pitching for those guys for the most part. Now, obviously, their offense hasn't done enough to overcome the lack of pitching, and that's been our problem. For a while, our pitching hadn't done enough to overcome our lack of offense, but I'll take the issue we're having versus the issue they're having. So definitely, you know, I keep we keep bouncing back and forth between sole possession of first and tied for first, or a half game back of first, back into sole possession of first, you know, whatever, right? This back and forth, neck and neck. And I'm not really going to get excited about being in first place until they have about a 3-game cushion. At 3 games ahead, even though that's no guarantee, at 3 games ahead, I feel like that's enough that you can feel better about it. That you don't have to worry so much about being overtaken in one series or over the weekend or whatever. So until I see 3 games ahead by any team, I'm not going to be that excited. That being said, if we're not 3 games back, I'm not going to be that upset either. You know, I definitely don't want to drop out of first into first or second or third, but I'll take it until we're 3 games back. At this point, obviously in the season, we've only got a few games left, more than a few, but not many, and you know, we're running out of time here, so we need to create some separation. Now, we're going to have some chances. We got a lot of games coming up with the Brewers and Cubs, so that's our chance to make, you know, create some distance, but it's also a chance for them to make up some ground quickly on us. And we got to take care of business against the other teams. I think I saw, or they said on the broadcast last night, the Cardinals have 60% of their games remaining are at home. So 60% home games. So that's, I think, only good. There was, if you recall, I guess it was last year, was it the year before? I think it was last year, that the Cardinals had a significantly worse record at home than they did on the road. So, you know, I don't know that you can really predict outcomes with home and road matchups. Generally, teams play better at home. But I believe this year, the splits do show that the Cardinals are a better home team. And you always want to be at home. So, we'll see. With more games at home and a slight lead in the division, the Cardinals should have an advantage here. And hopefully they can do something with it and get that 3-game separation that I'm looking for. So that's pretty much all I've got. There was a lot we could have got into. We could have looked at each game matchups over the last week. Who did what? Who's doing how well or how poorly? Overall, the pitching has been good enough. You'd still like to see the starters go deeper in games. Guys aren't going 8 innings, 9 innings enough. You got to have that every once in a while just to give your bullpen a break. And I feel like we haven't had it enough. But you'll take what you're getting. I think the other side of that is you get guys going 6 innings, but maybe giving up no runs or 1 run or 2 hits or whatever, and then the bullpen has to come in and shut it down, and you'll take that if it's very few runs. Now, if the guys are going 5 innings and giving up 6 runs, well, that's obviously not a good start at all. But we haven't really seen much of that either. So pitching, we can't really complain about. Things could be a little better, but I'll take it at this point. We just need to get more from the offense. Carp, I don't know. It's just when I think this guy should never see the field again. He does just enough. He'll hit a double or, an RBI single. I think he had a home run the other day, but in between all that, he just looks almost inept at the plate, and I feel like his bat has slowed down big time. The pitches that he is making contact with are change-ups, off-speed. He's not catching up to fastballs. What are you going to do? It's Matt Carpenter. He seems to be sort of the golden child. He's going to get every opportunity, and, hopefully he can turn around. I don't expect him to, so I expect that to be an issue that the team has to overcome, that the manager has to overcome with himself, figure out who should be playing, how to get those guys time, and, at least they're not batting him leadoff every game anymore, but he's still batting second, I think, a lot. He was batting down in the order of 6th, 7th, but, whatever. I don't know. We'll see. I hope that doesn't end up being the reason we don't take off, is because Matt Carpenter's getting too much playing time. I think that's a part of the reason now. He's seeing the field too much. He's in the lineup too much. And he's holding the batting order back. So we'll see. Anyway, that's all I've got pretty much. Just kind of wanted to recap my thoughts on the team. It's definitely exciting to be in first. I'm not too excited yet. Let's see them pull away a little bit. And hopefully they can put a little run here together as we close out August and head into the final stretch of September. We're going to see some guys getting called up as they expand the rosters. We'll see a Rosarena back. I'm sure we'll see a couple other key names that we've had our eye on. Hopefully Austin Gomber can get and stay healthy. Maybe he can contribute a little bit and keep some of this Memphis shuttle, some of those guys coming back for good maybe for the season. All right, well, we'll see how this whole episode turns out. I have no idea how this is even going to sound. Like I said, I've recorded this in my car, on my phone, and I hope it's not picking up too much road noise. I appreciate you hanging with me and listening if it wasn't great audio, and hopefully I didn't stutter my way through it too much. But, all right, until next time, I'm Jared, and this is the BFIBs Almanac.